Welcome to Timberland Farms. My name's Anthony. Behind me is my International Harvester 656. It's the utility version. Farmall makes the row crop version. So we're going to take this thing on a little car ride with us. We got a little surprise up ahead of us. We're going to take this over to the new owner and see what else we have in store, because we're going to probably tow something back home. It's about a 3-hour drive where this thing is heading, and we're going to try to pick something up on the backhaul. So we'll see what we can do. But before we get to say our final goodbyes, we're going to have to get this thing loaded up on the trailer, get it chained down, and make sure we're all set, ready to go for tomorrow. It's about 3 hours one way, so it's going to be an all-day thing, so I'd like to get loaded beforehand. Before we get too carried away, we need to get this tractor secured. Luckily, we got some help from our friends over at Mytee Products. They sent me over a couple chains and binders. This is their 5/16 and 3/8 chain binder rated for 5,400 pounds, and it'll take up to 8 inches of slack. One side of the chain binder is visibly stamped with a working load limit of 5,400 pounds and a max braking strength of 19,000 pounds. And then we flip it over on the other side, and it tells you that it fits 5/16 and 3/8 chain right there. It's upside down. I'll flip it around for you. 5/16 and 3/8 chain made by Mytee Products. Let's get this mounted on the tractor. So we're going to be using a 20-foot length of chain that Mytee Products sent to us. It is a grade 70 5/16 chain with a working load limit of 4,700 pounds and a max braking strength right around 18,000 pounds. I think it's 18,800. You look at the hook, it can clearly say that it's forged at 5/16, and the other side is grade 70, and it's got that bright gold color signifying that is also grade 70. For this application here, we're not going to need the full 20-foot length here that I got, so we're going to split this up and use it into two separate tie downs. In order to do that, I'm going to take the chain, put it through the front axle like this, pull out as much as I need. I'm going to screw it to the trailer here. That's nice, firm, secured, and then we're going to toss the other half of this. Then we're going to toss the other half of the chain and this hook over on the other side of the trailer, and I'll show you what we're going to do over there. Repeat the same thing on this side. We're going to take our length of chain, go through the axle, and find a nice securement point on the trailer. Now that we have both hooks on this chain securely mounted to the trailer, we can go ahead and pull up some of the slack. And again, I apologize for all the wind noise. I lost my microphone in one of my last videos, and I'm trying to get a new source for a new microphone. Now we can take our chain binder, grab a little bit of chain there, secure it over here, get that nice and tight, set this to tighten. So this chain binder will adjust from 23 inches from the outside of the hooks to the outside of the hooks all the way out to 30 inches, giving you the ability to take out 8 inches of slack. Now, setting up our tie downs like this gives us two separate tie downs. They're not counted because we have the slack right here in between. This is completely separate from the other side here behind me. Well, I didn't want to keep the suspense much longer for you guys. Figure rip it off like a band-aid. We got back late last night after dropping off that 656 International, and we got this on the back haul. So we ended up trading the gentleman the International 656 plus some cash in order to get this Case 1845 skid loader. So I'm not sure if it's an 1845 or an 1845B. Either way, they're very similar skid steers. Not sure what year this is. I don't know where the serial number is. If you guys know, let me know in the comment section below. But I'll give you guys a walk around of this thing, show you what's been done with it. And if you know anything about these things and have helpful hints on anything about these skid steers, let me know in the comment section below. But once we do a walk around, I guess we'll go try it out in the manure pile, see what it does moving compost around, and then we can go get it loaded, take this over to the wood yard, and show you where this new home is going to be. So I wasn't able to get a video of it unloading, but here it is. We unloaded it last night and just parked it. Drove it through the lawn a little bit and got quite muddy. It has been a muddy, rainy mess. But it has 85 hours on a new engine rebuild. There's no paperwork on it, but it looks like everything has really been gone through. Looks like this is a silicone boot right there. If you look inside the engine bay here, it looks like a lot of these hydraulic hoses have been replaced. Both of these have been replaced. This hose has been replaced, and that's a silicone hose. They'll probably last the life of the machine here for me. Take a look on the other side. They extended the back out here. These are pretty decent welds, honestly. It looks like they added on a hydraulic cooler, so they needed extra room to make that happen. It's got a set of weights there on the back. These hydraulic hoses up here, they look like they're fairly new. It's got new steel line. Everything's pretty greasy, so it looks like it's been greased frequently. This thing actually looks like a really nice machine. Somebody's gone through this thing. More new hydraulic hoses there. It does look like it's pretty easy to service. You have your oil filter up there, air filters right here, fuel filters right there. The engine oil should be on the other side, pretty easy to access as well. Somebody's updated the front end to have skid steer quick attach. They welded on the receiver onto the bucket. I'm assuming this is the factory bucket. It's not a long lift bucket like you see on these new skid steers, but it'll do fine. That guy's added new LED lights up on the front and the back, all four. I'll climb up in here. I could use a new seat. It's not terrible. It was wet, so I put this down. You look over here, it's got all new gauges. You got new oil pressure, coolant temperature, transmission temperature. You guys know what that is. The voltmeter, volt gauge, and our hour meter. 84.6 hours on the engine rebuild. And then we have our dummy lights up here. See how she starts up. Not bad. These are push buttons right here for the lights. And it puts a backlight on your backlight on the gauges. Not bad. Put on this joystick, you got lift. And on this joystick, you got dump and you got curl. That's your kill switch. It's got all the factory decals on it still, at least on the inside of the cab. Oh, there's a serial number right there. But yeah, there it is. So let's go put the thing to work. We got to steal the forks off the front of the case tractor. We're going to take those over to the wood yard. So I got to fire that up, spin that thing around. But before we do that, let's play with the bucket a little bit. Before we get too carried away, we got to fill this thing up with diesel fuel. I noticed when we were unloading this thing that the fuel light was blinking. So let's get that taken care of before we forget. I got to do something different about my fuel situation. Now I have 4 diesel machines and I go through quite a bit of fuel, especially in the summertime making hay, but I do make I do go through quite a bit in the summertime, in the wintertime also, believe it or not, using for firewood and stuff. Let's fire up the old Case 430. We'll steal the forks off of this thing, put them on the new skid steer, and we can take that up to the wood yard. But before we do that, I like to move the IBC tow for the pig feed, so then I could get the livestock trailer up to where they gotta go, because they're gonna have to go in about a week and a half. See if this thing starts. I think that my favorite part about having the skid steer, as well as the added capability, lift capacity and stuff, is being right in front of where you're operating, and you can really clearly see what you're doing. Your front of your bucket's right there. Your visibility is like top notch. You're not going to get better visibility, other than when you got like a pallet with a big cube or something and it blocks everything you're trying to see. But for like dirt work and stuff, moving small things, you cannot see anything about it. Tractor, you have to stand up and look over the hood and all that. This has no hood, you're kind of just behind you. That's a convenient time to run out of grease. Good enough, I guess. It is a lot darker in person. But we'll get this thing chained down and taken to the wood yard. Well, let's tie down the skid steer. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this video. I got a lot of cool projects I'm going to do with this thing, but I'm going to tow this over to the wood yard and get this taken care of. It's too dark for anything else, so you'll have to pick up on it at a later time. But I appreciate you sticking around for the video this far. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for what we're going to do with the new machine. I am excited.